Great acting boils down to much more than just memorizing your lines. A lot of the time, it's about capturing the essence of the character and the moment that you're portraying. Some of the most iconic movie scenes have actually come from times where the actors did things that were completely unplanned or improvised their lines. And the result? The scenes became iconic and contributed significantly to the success of their respective films. In this episode of the podcast, we're going to take a look at 5 of the most iconic unplanned scenes that unexpectedly led to some of the most iconic scenes in film history.
Hey there, friends. This is Dennis Geelen, author of the Happy Accidents newsletter and the book The Accidental Solopreneur. Welcome to another episode of the Happy Accidents podcast, where we dive into true stories of wildly successful people, products, or businesses, all of which can trace their success back to a chance encounter, a serendipitous event, or a fluke invention. In each episode, we unravel the tales of unexpected triumphs and the remarkable journeys that led to their incredible success. I'm on a mission to explore the fascinating world of happy accidents, and I'm thrilled to have you along for the ride. So, why should you tune in? Well, besides the entertainment value of these incredible stories, there's a hidden treasure trove of lessons that we can learn from them. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a creative mind, or simply someone who enjoys a good narrative, this podcast is your go-to source for inspiring stories and valuable insights. Get ready for a roller coaster ride of surprises, a dash of luck, and a sprinkle of wisdom. This is the Happy Accidents Podcast, where success meets serendipity. Let's jump into today's adventure.
Let's start with The Godfather from 1972. During the filming of the opening scene of the movie, a famous scene, a stray cat actually wandered onto the set. Now, director Francis Ford Coppola, who's always wanted to embrace the unexpected, he decided to incorporate the cat into the scene of the movie. It ended up sitting on Marlon Brando's lap as he delivered his lines. Now, as per Coppola, it was an absolute accident, he says. The cat in Marlo's hands was not planned for. I saw the cat running around the studio, and I took it and I put it in his hands without saying a word. The inclusion of the cat added an unexpected layer of depth to Brando's character, Vito Corleone, humanizing him and creating a striking contrast between this world that he lives in. This serendipitous moment became iconic, enhancing the film's overall impact and contributing to its success. Coppola's spontaneous decision to include the cat proved to be a stroke of genius. He just saw the opportunity and he ran with it. Actor Richard Castellona, who plays a role in the movie of the part of Peter Clemenza, he said the cat wasn't in the script. It was just appeared and it worked beautifully. It was one of those things that just happened and it made the scene unforgettable. This happy accident not only enriched the scene, but also became one of the most memorable aspects of Vito Corleone's character, further cementing the film's legacy. Want proof? The Godfather was a turning point in Coppola's career, catapulting him to international fame. The film's success established him as one of the leading directors in Hollywood. It was nominated for 11 Academy Awards, winning 3. It grossed approximately $250 million worldwide during its release, making it one of the highest grossing films of its time. A huge financial success. Okay, next up we have Raiders of the Lost Ark from 1981 and the famous sword scene. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I loved this movie as a kid. It was just full of action, adventure, and wonder. And there's a particular scene in the movie that stands out and it gets referenced a lot. It's the scene where Indiana Jones faces a skilled swordsman. In the scene, Harrison Ford was supposed to engage in a complex fight. It was going to be this massive fight scene. It was all choreographed. However, Ford was suffering from dysentery and he suggested, why don't I just shoot the guy? And that's what happens. The resulting scene where Indiana Jones just nonchalantly shoots the swordsman has become one of the film's most memorable moments. He's just so cool. Harrison Ford, can you beat that guy? Raiders of the Lost Ark won 4 Academy Awards and it grossed approximately $390 million worldwide during its theatrical run. Incredible. How about Taxi Driver from 1976, another iconic scene showcasing 4 words. You talking to me? Everyone knows the exact scene I'm talking about here because those 4 words give it away. It's the one where Robert De Niro's character, Travis Bickle, is looking into the mirror and he just keeps repeating those words. You talking to me? You talking to me? Anyone who's seen the movie has probably repeated this same line to family or friends over and over, or maybe even to themselves in the mirror. Well, it turns out this entire sequence was improvised by De Niro, and it's become one of the most famous lines in film history. Incredible. Taxi Driver was nominated for, but did not win, 4 Academy Awards, and it grossed only approximately $28.4 million in the US. But that's actually quite impressive when you consider that the film was made on a relatively modest budget of only 1.3 million. Budget of 1.3, made 28.4. Not bad. Okay, next up we have The Empire Strikes Back from 1980, and 2 famous words, I know. This is another one involving Harrison Ford. He's so cool. I love this guy. And I love this one because it's totally not what you would expect in the moment, but at the same time, it kind of is. There's a scene in the movie where Princess Leia tells Han Solo, I love you. Incredibly emotional scene. Now, Harrison Ford was supposed to respond with, I love you too. It's the natural thing you would expect a character to say back. But instead, Ford improvised with, I know, which perfectly captures Han Solo's character and became one of the most famous lines in the franchise's history. That's just so Han Solo, such a Han Solo thing to say. I love you. I know. The Empire Strikes Back won 2 Academy Awards and grossed approximately $538 million worldwide during its theatrical release. That is huge, right? I know. And lastly, we've got The Shining from 1980, another 2-worder. Here's Johnny. This movie freaked me out as a kid, kind of like Jaws. I probably shouldn't have watched it when I was so young, but it was just so compelling and I couldn't stop watching. Jack Nicholson does an incredible job of portraying someone who's slowly going crazy from cabin fever in the movie. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And in the movie, there's this now famous line from Nicholson that says, here's Johnny. He says this while he's got this wild, crazy look on his face while breaking through a door with an axe. It's quite terrifying. And the line is in reference to Johnny Carson's introduction to The Tonight Show. And it just added this extra layer of mania to the character. Well, needless to say, it worked, and it was completely improvised. It wasn't in the script. Nicholson just came up with it on the spot, and it was perfect. Here's Johnny. Okay, so what lessons can we take away here? I've got a few of them lined up for you. First one, embrace spontaneity and creativity. These scenes demonstrate the power of spontaneous creativity. Sometimes the unplanned moments in our lives can be the most memorable and the most impactful. Second lesson, stay in the moment. Improvised scenes often arise from actors reacting naturally to the situation. This authenticity can create depth and realism in performances. How can you stay in the moment? And number 3, trust the collaborative process. Directors play a crucial role in fostering an environment where creativity can flourish, and so do leaders in a business. Be open to ideas from others and willing to capture unplanned moments that enhance the situation. Now listen, these are just 5 iconic scenes that I handpicked for this episode of the podcast. But the truth is, these happy accident moments, they can be found all across the film industry. They're everywhere. These scenes demonstrate the power of spontaneous creativity and how unplanned elements can become defining parts of a film's legacy. How can unplanned opportunities become a defining moment in your life? Something to think about.
Hey, thanks for tuning into the Happy Accidents podcast. I hope you find these stories as intriguing and insightful as I do. But make sure you don't miss an episode. You can subscribe to my Accidental Solopreneur channel on YouTube and watch these episodes in video form, or subscribe to the Happy Accidents podcast on Apple and Spotify for your listening pleasure. Until next time, stay lucky, my friends.